This spring is either going to go down in history as one of the most exciting seasons of anime in a long time, or will be forgotten in the annals of time as the season of lost potential. Normally when you look at the anime coming out, you see stuff like high-profile, critically acclaimed Shonen Jump adaptation, probably going to slap, sequel to another highly beloved anime. Yeah, this one's going to be popular. Yet, this spring we are largely heading into the unknown. New anime originals from fresh and also decorated creators of the past, franchise reboots, spin-offs, new unproven IPs that could be a classic or die on a whimper. So screw the memes today because we've got a lot to get through. Hit that intro. Yes, it's spring 2025, and you know what that means? That's right, it's been one entire year since spring 2024. Oh, you already knew that? Well, how about this then? It's also been almost one entire year since the launch of today's sponsor, the award-winning sci-fi open-world action RPG, Wuthering Waves. That's right, that big one-year milestone is rapidly approaching for Wuthering Waves, and to celebrate, they are launching the first anniversary celebration and the version 2.3 update. 2 new 5-star characters will be joining the game. There's Zani, a badass main DPS character who uses a giant shield that transforms into a buster sword. Her main playstyle revolves around parrying, but more importantly, she's a woman in a suit. And who doesn't love women in suits? And Kona, a full-on idol culture-inspired bard girl who even uses rhythm game mechanics in her gameplay. Not to mention, there's also a bunch of new playable content to dive into as well, including the Cube, Cubic, and Cubie anniversary combat event and the Dreaming Deep Solaris Film Festival roguelike event. And just in case you missed it and needed a reminder, the previous update from just over a month ago added a brand new story chapter, and as someone who just recently played it, I have one word for you. Absolute cinema. That's 2 words. So if you've yet to try the game or have just been looking for an excuse to jump back in, now is the perfect time. Head to that link in the description to download the game today on iOS, Android, PC, PS5, and now even Mac as well. Also, they've just announced their upcoming collaboration with Cyberpunk Edgerunners in 2026, so stay tuned for updates. Thanks again to Wuthering Waves for sponsoring us today, and with that said, back to spring anime.
クジライさん、肩。
ごめんごめん。
もっといろいろ気にしてくださいよ。
工藤君って年上に可愛がられるタイプよねって私
Hi, Dad?
覚えてる？
I think I'm pregnant. In a move of pure disrespect, we have Kowloon Generic Romance, having the gall to put generic in its title, giving a bad name to the shit we see every season that actually deserve that title. A romance series set in Hong Kong's infamous Kowloon walled city, capturing the era of 80s and 90s golden age so perfectly. While an angel from Evangelion is just floating above them watching their every move, don't worry about it. Every single goddamn frame of this show oozes atmosphere, transporting you back to a time you yearn to relive again, even if you've never even lived it in the first place. This series is vibes. Watching this gives you the same feeling of listening to some random city pop playlist that YouTube recommended to you at 2 AM and getting nostalgic for an era you weren't even around for. We finally have a romance, not in high school, not with some immature kids. There's a sci-fi mystery aspect that leads me to believe there's more going on behind the scenes, and you know what? This isn't even the only anime this season with immaculate vibes. Cause what could be more immaculate than the end of humanity itself? Damn, that got dark. Yes, it's another anime original coming from Cygames Pictures, and I think I've learned to have a soft spot for cheerful, comfy stories set in a desolate, post-apocalyptic world, because at this point, maybe the idea of the world coming to an end is more comfy than it seems. But also, there's just something about combining upbeat stories with this air of melancholy that I can't help but gravitate towards every time, like a moth flying towards my next existential flame. If, like me, you've been looking for a show that reignites those feelings you got from watching Girls' Last Tour, give this one a go.
This is the Nintendo Store announcement. We regret to inform you that there is only one Nintendo Switch 2 left and it will be selling on a first-come, first-served basis. Thank you for your understanding.
We got just a handful of sequels this season, like more Windbreaker, a boy shows about boys being boys doing boy things like fighting, punching each other, forming manly brotherhoods with each other. Why are all the girls watching this? Shoshimin is continuing, Aharen along with Sentai Daishikaku. Hopefully this season can capitalize on its premise and not drag us through another 7 episodes of exams we don't care about. Fire Force is entering its final season. I never finished the first one, but every so often I'll come across a clip that makes me want to pick it back up. But that's if the later seasons don't take me out of some of the insane action scenes it's capable of by shoving a boatload of Tamaki's ass in my face every time I'm just slightly immersed. And that's a big if. Oh my god, is that Sea Dog VA? Oh my god, is that Sea Dog VA? Oh my god, is that Sea Dog VA? This one just came out of nowhere. We got another remake of a classic manga from the creator of Detective Conan this time, which I'd never heard of before. But god damn if this didn't turn out to be some of the best animation on offer this season. Studio Wit continue to prove they are just the master chef with everything they touch, because this is on a whole nother level for remakes of old school anime, even with some of the great ones we've had recently. My Hero Academia is also here with a darker, grittier spin-off series that has so far impressed me as much as the mainline show. It's interesting to see a street level perspective of the Hero Academia world, following characters who don't have flashy city leveling powers still find a way to take down these supervillains. You got your friendly neighborhood Sliderman, some idol wannabe whose quirk is to bounce. Crazy stuff. And the most powerful hero of all. Yes, there's the guy whose only quirk is the 2 massive balls he wakes up with every morning to take on these super villains without having any powers. It's Only Man's. So, did you hear about what's going on? Not really, I don't follow the news. So yeah, well, America's putting up tariffs. Yeah, on who? Canada and Mexico. Wait, I was wrong. It's every country. It's only 10% though. Minimum. But they're gonna wait 90 days. Except China's getting a special tariff. It's 104%. Wait, no, that was a lie. It's 245%. It's always nice to see a light-hearted comedy be one of the most hyped up series this season. Coming from the author of Sket Dance, we have Witch Watch, but with which watch do we watch Witch Watch with? I don't know where I'm going with this. Girl comes back from witch school and has to choose her familiar, a being that will permanently become her manslave, protecting her, serving her, listening to her every whim. If this was an isekai, we'd call this slavery in cursive, and she's chosen her childhood friend, but unfortunately for him, this is the person he's serving. Yep, she's one of those. This is the type of girl who'd stare at a bottle of orange juice because it said concentrate. But it's the chemistry between the two leads that makes these opening episodes work so well. For the 5 of you that still remember Aho Girl, this is that with more magic and less domestic violence. LAZARUS. If there was one show I was excited for before the season started, this one was my pick. It's some dystopian future where all of humanity has got addicted to some miracle drug because it's easily accessible and affordable with no apparent drawbacks except for one. That's revealed by the drug's creator, Dr. Skinner, that anyone who's taken the drug will die approximately 3 years after they first take it. The world falls into chaos, panic ensues, and the Dow Jones drops to the lowest it's ever been in years. Oh, you wacky sci-fi story.
これがアメリカンジョークです。
And so a ragtag team is formed to catch him in what looks to be an old school action sci-fi. You got Shinichiro Watanabe, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, one of the most goated directors this medium has seen, and you pair him with Chad Stiletzky. John Wick's Chad Stiletzky for the action choreography, with Studio Mappa bringing their best, and this should be a recipe for success. Visually, it's absolutely top dollar, the music is bebop-esque with a modern twist, the world looks so vibrant and alive with an early 2000s vibe we haven't seen for so long. On paper and with the names behind it, this is a show I really, really want to like. But I don't know, guys. Something just feels off.
Well, we're here to save the world.
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
We're like the Avengers or something.
Oh shit, guys, I was bloody joking. The writing is trying so hard to be cool. Really hard. Maybe a bit too hard, because it sometimes reaches awkward sounding dialogue or even Marvel level quips. It never quite reaches the natural charm and chemistry when you watch something like Cowboy Bebop. I mean, just take the main character. He's like Spike. He can do everything that Spike does, except with more backflipping. He can fight like Spike with more backflipping. He can run like Spike with more backflipping. Motherfucker graduated from the Leon Kennedy School of Necessary Backflipping.
He just flew away. Like a bird that was let out of its cage.
Did the bird do a flip on the way out? I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt now because it's still doing so many other things right. It's early days, so we'll know soon if it'll fall flat on its face or will it fly away like a bird, backflipping out of its cage. On this episode of What in the Actual Goon, an anime where a girl can loop back in time every time she takes off her underwear. Now, I'm no stranger to anime logic. I can get behind degeneracy. I can get behind wacky concepts. But you're telling me a silent classroom full of people is not going to notice a guy standing up in eye shot of everyone and walking over to the most popular girl in class only to get on his knees and play around with her underwear while she violently moans. Motherfucker, I couldn't get a coffee in class without getting a snarky comment from the teacher. Meanwhile, bro is up there putting his foot halfway up the stairway to heaven, and not a single person is pointing this out. Gigguk, it's just a dumb ecchi show. Why are you overthinking this? No, this is still a story based on rules we have to abide by. I can't suspend my disbelief to this. My dick would never forgive me again. We may be degenerates. We may watch shows that appeal to the lowest common denominator, but that doesn't mean we can't goon with standard. Wait, hold on. Crunchyroll actually have the uncensored version on their site? Okay, hold on a second.
Here's your bill. $4.16, pervert.
$4.16. Pervert! What do you call it, pervert?
It's written on the bill!
You know what? Forget degenerates, isekai, or fantasy fans. You know who's eating real good this season? Slice of life fans. We got Yuru Camp, except they become fat fucks because this food looks delicious. There's Yuru Camp funded by the Yamanashi Prefecture, coming from the author of... Oh, there's some anime girl who finds an expensive hobby traveling around Japan in what I can assume is the most elaborate tax write-off for the mangaka making it. Wait a minute, this is just Abroad in Japan, adorable blue-haired anime girl edition. A ninja and an assassin under one roof. For a deadpan ayaya comedy, this somehow has way better animation than most traditional action shows this season. You know, this spring we just have so much to pick from, and yet even out of all these, there is one anime that I think has more potential above all others. And it isn't even technically an anime. To Be Hero X is the latest high-profile series coming from China. And holy hell did they come here to play. It's been a while since I've been so genuinely awestruck at the production values of an animated series. Okay, that's actually a lie. Since Arcane recently shattered that bar before it, but I did not think it would be so soon till I saw something that could even compete, and To Be Hero X is getting pretty damn close. We got China's version of Tiger and Bunny with a world of hyper-commercialized superheroes. Yes, as you can tell, this looks very similar to Arcane to the point where I had to double check it wasn't by the same studio. But they are just completely flexing by switching up styles on a whim, with multiple animation studios working on this, giving potential for some of the coolest animated sequences I've seen in a very long time. 3D, 2D, all of it blends together in a way that hasn't been attempted since ever. This could be as much of a stylistic choice as it is a narrative one, and if the trailers are of any indication, there is even more switch-ups to come. This is not an anthology of stories. This feels like an anthology of animation and a celebration of everything kick-ass. No, this isn't technically an anime, but as an anime fan, nothing is getting me more pumped this season than To Be Hero X. Hey yo, watching the crack? Okay guys, remember last time when I freaked out trying to convince you guys that idol anime and band anime are totally different things? Well, I think I finally realized the massive difference that makes these two genres totally unique. You see, I like this music. It feels like we've entered a new era of band anime since there seems to be at least one great one coming out every season, and this one looks to be joining the best of them. Music aside, what could be more fun than a bunch of uppity pret school or jaw summers politely speaking to each other in uppercase before shredding it on the guitar and getting really concerningly wet while doing so as a sign of their totally platonic friendship. No Hoyoverse. This was just a bloody fun show, and I don't know how they could make it any better. Oh! There's a bird! And she's flying out of the cage! Oh my god, when's she gonna do a backflip? I don't know what bloody horse Musume fans sacrificed to the gacha gods, but this franchise has now somehow become one of the must-watch sports anime. For those unaware, you come in thinking of watching a cash grab of some gacha game adaptation, and then they will drop a scene like this. Cygames is one of the few companies that have used their exorbitant gacha earnings for good, with their studio pumping out the highest quality adaptations for all their IPs while also funding exciting anime originals like Apocalypse Hotel. Congratulations, Musume players, you are no longer filthy gacha gamers like the rest of us. Be proud, you have ascended to investors. New season of Mushoku Tensei coming in! Wait, hold on a second. What the hell? The beginning after the end. Now, this is a webtoon anime with a story that I've been told rivals Mushoku Tensei's, and well, The only thing coming close to an end is my hope that this is going to get a good adaptation. You know, I got a feel for the beginning after the end fans. If this is the final product they waited for, I can only imagine the first draft of the screenplay went something along the lines of
in the beginning, yeah, in the beginning, yeah. In the beginning.
Well, now that Gur is graduating, there's got to be some way to get weebs into baseball, and what better way than a cute, smug anime girl who will tease you at every baseball game? I'm suddenly uninterested. I know baseball is Japan's pastime and all, but I'm more of a football guy myself. Yeah, this one wasn't great. And then we get to Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, another fantasy anime except the main character is an older guy now. Look, at least anime is self-aware enough now to know that the audience that grew up watching Sword Art Online 12 years ago are now no longer teenagers. But do they think we're so cheap, so unchanged from our younger selves that we'd fall for the same power fantasy show, except this time they just aged up the protagonist to be this really chill and mature guy who's actually super modest and trying to get by in life, unaware how powerful he is, but still never overestimating himself, preaching respect and self-improvement, humbling cocky teenagers who end up admiring him and listening to him, not because he has aura, but because he has wisdom and life experience. And fuck, I really like this one. But hey, we're not that old yet, guys. We're still hip with the kids. Hey, look, guys, chicken jockey. Keeping on theme with the amount of nostalgic shows, we got an anime that looks like it jumped right out of late 2000s visual novel adaptation. Yes, if you couldn't tell, this is Key. Yes, if you couldn't tell, this is Jun Maeda. Yes, if you couldn't tell, it's probably gonna tear your heart to shreds, but the real question is, how is it going to stack up against— Birds! They got birds! But wait, where's the cage they're escaping from? Not even a single backflip? I changed my mind, guys. This is probably gonna be ass. Next up, Gundam GQuuuuuX.
なんて読むんだ
Turn A Gundam.
GQuuuuuX?
GQuuuuuX
Gigguk? Gundam?
GQuuuuuX.
Yeah, let's go with that. Now, this is the highest profile new Gundam series to be released in a while, and while I've seen my fair share of Gundams, my editor, who is an OG Gundam fan and far better equipped to talk about this than me, has given me his statement he would like me to read on whether you should be watching this or not, from a true Gundam fan. Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuX is a collaborative production from Sunrise and Studio Kara. The project marks the first credited work Hideaki Anno has contributed to the franchise since Char's counterattack in 1980. Oh my god! It's got girls! Cute girls! Set in an alternative Universal Century timeline, GQuuuuuX presents a scenario in which Char Aznavour joins the Zeon raid on Side 7 in 0079. A setting like this runs the risk of alienating new fans in the same way UC itself does, but also for the UC purists that don't like the change. They're playing the guitar together. Look at that, that's so cute. Oh god, they're adorable. I actually feel as though in diverging so heavily from the original story, it may make it easier for new fans to pick up without prior context. And as for myself, I'm thoroughly enjoying GQuuuuuX, but I do find myself having many issues with most of the mechanical designs as they— And now they're sleeping with each other. This is peak anime right here. We've done it, guys. We've exhausted all other isekai ideas that there's only one place left it can possibly go. Space! Remember when I said the amount of isekai that start by death from overwork was getting a little depressing? Well, how about this? We got another overworked salaryman. Okay, nothing new to see here, but this time he has a family and he finds out his wife is cheating on him. But wait, that's not all. Turns out his daughter is not actually his real daughter, and if his day wasn't bad enough already, he gets framed for embezzling money from his company. His wife tells him he's pathetic, his daughter tells him she doesn't love him, gets fired, divorced, loses custody, is forced to pay child support and the 50 million yen he got framed for embezzling, and then, after all this, he gets cancer. Oh man, we didn't know how good we had it when Truck-kun was about. What's the name of this anime? Can a boy-girl friendship survive?
No.
This one's an interesting concept. On her 17th birthday, an apprentice witch gets told she is cursed and has a year left to live. That is, unless she is able to collect 1,000 tears of joy from people, which will not only save her life, but also grant her immortality. And so she goes on a personal journey to help strangers and bring some genuine happiness to people's lives. Damn, isn't this nice? Isn't this a feel-good series? No. Small brain. Amateur shit. Let's break this down. You need to average at least 2.7 tears per day or you are going to die. That is multiple tears per day. Going around solving random people's problems is probably the dumbest fucking thing you can do in this situation. Think, girl, think. You can mainly focus on just one person at a time. Each problem can take maybe days or even more to solve, and at the end of it all, you don't even have a guaranteed success rate if the fucker doesn't want to cry. So, here's how a pro does it. Step 1. Get an apartment right next to a hospital. Extra points for a hospital that specializes in life-saving surgeries or delivering newborns. This will give you a way to passively farm that shit when you got nothing going on. Step 2. Becoming a wedding officiant. Weddings are just prime farming spots for people crying out of tears of joy, and being an officiant means you only have to commit an hour while possibly hitting up multiple weddings a day. Even if it's not the most emotional wedding, you should have at least an 80% success rate on the bride, groom, and their parents. But if that still sounds like too much work, don't worry. We have the nuclear option. Are you ready? Attend one single Taylor Swift concert and you will reach your cap in a single song with tears to spare, I swear to God. You will be thanking white women for the rest of the immortal life you will now live. But no, ooh, make this grandma cry. So happy. And finally, coming from the king of trashy romance anime is the Shiunji family children. From the same mind that gave us Rent-A-Girlfriend, this is an anime that's a harem romance series about a dude and his 4 stepsisters, 1 blood sister, and a younger brother. And I'm sure hearing this summary, you may laugh, you may snicker to yourself, but I am here in awe, witnessing a man of true talent. Because a project like this is one of pure dedication and determination from a person with something to prove. We can all learn something from Shiunji family. It is infinitely harder to create than to judge, but if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna do anything, what's the point of doing it if you're not going to try to be the best? Even if you're the best at being the worst. If one man's trash is another man's treasure, then this man can turn a trash can into a fully operational waste disposal center. Because even if you think you've reached your full potential, be that person who can dig deep and know they have more to give. Who can look at his work on Rent-A-Girlfriend and say, no, we must go lower. Who can look at the amount of sisters in Domestic Girlfriend and say, nay, we must go higher. 1 sister, 2 sisters, how about 5 and a younger brother, because we are not in the end game yet. There is always a higher summit to climb. So, just remember, family always comes first. Just as long as you don't come in family. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much this month to Author Curtis Eckstein, Basil, D's Nuts, Dysfunctional Degenerates, Flabberwocky, Jonathick, Mike 808, Misaka12315, Payne Patchett, Pony Stark, Shouting Zombie, Watergeist VT, and everyone else on my Patreon for helping to support me for this month and making this video possible. Yep, that was the spring anime season, so I hope nothing I said today ages horribly, because there is a chance that maybe nothing in this season will pop off, or maybe everything will. We will have to wait and see, because it's going to be hit or miss for a lot of these shows. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna have any more time than I usually do. Oh my god. Anyway though, that's it from me for today. I've been Gigguk, and I'll see you all next time.